This week, you're going to be introduced to the video interview project for Education 180. The purpose of this project is so you learn how to work with families and understand that each family that comes into your classroom is diverse. Things like the family's educational values, their social, economic, cultural, and religious backgrounds, and the roles, responsibilities, and communication patterns that we as teachers and families have will definitely impact the development of the child sitting in your classroom. From this knowledge, we can learn how to develop an appreciation for all families, whether they are similar or different from our own background, and foster this diversity in our classroom for our students. So the task is to choose a diverse family. Now, if you look down at our rubric, there's a couple options. The first is to select a family that is diverse in at least 5 of the categories that you're going to be writing interview questions about. So someone who's different from you in about 5 of the categories. The other option is for you to do an interview in your own family, but you would need to be interviewing 3 generations. So you can be one of the generations, and you need 2 other generations, either above or below you. So if you have access to your grandparents and your parents and yourself, or if you have a generation below you, and then you can use your parents above you. So we can see how families have changed over the years. So after you choose your family, you're going to be developing interview questions in the following areas. Like I said before, these are the areas that you're going to be looking for diversity. So we want our questions to be very specific. Now, the interview does not have to be more than 5 to 10 minutes. In fact, it's really important that you keep it as close to 5 and 10 minutes as possible. So you don't need to go real in depth with your questions. And if you think there's a family that may have a question or a topic here that's going to be very specific to them that will allow them to really talk about for several minutes, you might want to whittle your questions down just a little bit. Then you will interview the family. It's very important that you video this interview so we can see what it's like just to watch them communicate. Most of us have access at this point to video through our computer's webcam, through your phone, through iPods or tablets, and that's all you'll need for this. You're going to be sharing this video interview with the class. You'll receive more directions on that at a later date, but chances are the length of your video or the size of memory is going to require you to upload this to a YouTube account. We also are going to be working to put this in a program on D2L called Go React. So like I said, closer to the due date, I will give a specific video on how to share your video. At this point, it's important just to get that video made. After you have videoed your family, re-watch the video, and for step 5, I'd like you to reflect on the family that you interviewed. What are the similarities and differences between your family and the family interviewed? What did you learn from interviewing this family? And how can you specifically transfer what you learned in the interview experience to being a classroom teacher working with diverse families? And if you're interviewing your own family, I want you to look at the similarities and differences in the categories that you're interviewing and see how the generations differ in those. The project's worth 100 points, and your breakdown on the rubric is as follows. We will look at your family selection, and you could check out the categories, how many interview questions that you included in your interview. The video was shared. Again, more directions will come. The quality of the video. Now, I know we're going to be videoing these through our phones and things, so I don't expect professional videography, but we wanted to be able to see and hear. Last, we have the reflection area, that you answered all the questions in a detailed way, and that you've proofread your project. It's actually a very simple project, but we will be revisiting you and your family often this semester. As we talk about diverse families, we're going to have the ability to go back and watch these videos again and use them as actual profiles for children in our fake class. So you're going to help us create a classroom of diverse learners through these interviews. So there's a couple things that'll follow using this video, and it's really important that you get a nice, clear video for us. If you have any questions, please let me know at your convenience.